Well, welcome back. President Biden's border crisis deepens. The Biden administration is now moving money to house migrants. They are moving $860 million in money that was supposed to be COVID funds to cover the cost of housing and caring for migrant children in shelters after the crossing of the border. Joining me right now is Tennessee Congressman and Appropriations Committee member Chuck Fleischmann. Congressman, it's great to see you this morning. Thanks very much for being here. When we went to the border a couple of months ago and we were able to get into one of the housing facilities, we were the first journalists to do so. We viewed all of these children being housed at this Delphi facility, part of the broader and bigger Donna facility that they have. And my question to one of the people working there was, how much does it cost? And she said that we were talking about in the billions of dollars, and that was just one facility. Your thoughts on the movement of this money from COVID relief money, to now used to house these migrants who are coming across the border? 6,000 people a day.
Well, Maria, you're absolutely right. This is a crisis of monumental proportions. It was incentivized by the Biden administration. On my personal trips to the border, I've been in those facilities before they actually let the media in. And time again, we are seeing the costs for this, the humanitarian costs, the fiscal cost to our country that's $30 trillion in debt, heaped on the American taxpayer, on the American people. And the worst part about it, Maria, you think the Biden administration, after they see crisis after crisis, either created by them or not solved by them, would deal with it. They're oblivious to it. They're going in the other direction. And that's what's shocking. That's a message I'm trying to get out in my capacity as the ranking member, the highest Republican on the Homeland Security Appropriations Subcommittee. We've got to stop this.
Well, how are you going to stop it, though, Congressman? I mean, look, you and your colleagues are in the minority. You can go out and speak out and come on this show and others and talk about what you're seeing. But in terms of policy, you're not in the driver's seat. Do you think the Biden administration understands the impact this is having on America?
It just perplexes me. I don't know if the Biden administration understands any of their policies and their impacts on America. I candidly missed the last administration where we were moving ahead, low petroleum prices, abundant resources, things were going well, low unemployment. Now we're literally in chaos. And I don't think they're literally rudderless and confused at the Biden helm. And that's sad for the American people. To answer your question more specifically, the American people need to speak up. The good citizens of this country need to demand accountability from the Biden administration, not only in the Homeland Security and immigration and national security area, but across the boards. Your previous guest talking about the price of oil. It's ridiculous that we would have the most oil in the world, tremendous reserves, and we're talking about rising oil prices. It's time that the Biden administration hear from the American people directly, and then they'll respond.
Yeah, and you know, I've always said bad policy equals bad outcomes, and we're seeing a lot of bad outcomes. You've got the wide open border policy, and that's created terrible outcomes in terms of the narcotics coming into this country, in terms of, migrants coming in, needing help, the gotaways, 40, 50,000 gotaways every month. People we see on surveillance cameras that did not turn themselves in, did not get apprehended. We don't know what their intentions are. And then, of course, there's these crazy spikes in crime across the country. But White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki is blaming the staggering spike in crime rates on seasonal changes and holiday weekends. Listen to this. This is outrageous. Watch.
We've seen rates go up over the last 18 months around the country, including in the city of Chicago. We see spikes in violent crime typically during summer months, often, unfortunately, during holiday weekends. And we saw that over the last weekend. But I will say that he will continue to advocate for, and the mayor may want to discuss this, I guess we'll see, or not, but increases in his budget, including an additional $300 million more for the COPS program. That is than what I would say was approved in the prior Trump administration budget.
So she's blaming seasonality and holiday weekends as major retailers are closing early due to rampant shoplifting, Congressman. No word on the ending of cash bail, of the closing of our prisons, and, of course, wide open borders as a trigger for some of this crime.
It's shocking. It's an outrage. It's an affront. It should be offensive to the American people. I could not agree with you more, Maria, when you say bad policy gives bad results. But let's go a step further. And this is what I'm talking about all over America. Bad ideology leads to bad policy, which leads to bad results. The Biden administration ideology, as they pander to the far left, that fundamentally wrong ethos, that worldview that they have, that they come to every problem with, is the problem. They've got ideas that are just fundamentally wrong and don't work. It's time that we get back to good conservative values, supporting law and order, supporting the police, supporting our United States Constitution, supporting the free enterprise system, supporting and dealing with supply and demand. You can't get away from good fundamental basics that have made this country the greatest, strongest economic, political, and humanitarian power in the world. The problem is the Biden administration just doesn't get it. They don't understand that. They ascribe to a completely different worldview, and that's what's driving the bad policies that are driving the bad results. And the results are horrific.
Yeah, it's very disturbing, Congressman. We'll keep watching it. Thanks very much for being here this morning, Congressman Chuck Fleischmann. We'll see you soon,
Pleasure.
sir.